Hey, Tania, thanks again for joining us today. First off, I think the question we all have on all our minds is, how did you think the school year went this year?
It's a very interesting school year this year. To say the least. After 20 years of teaching, I can honestly say I've never had a semester quite like the last one. Certainly challenging, but I think that we all did the best we could with the tools that we had, the kids and the teachers and everybody. I think we all kind of stepped up as much as we could. I was really proud of our school and the way that we handled things, and the board and the way that they pushed things out. And the kids were actually phenomenal as well. I was really proud of a lot of them. So, it was an interesting one. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely a unique year for sure. I think and our first question is, congratulations on being named one of our 9 women of influence.
Oh.
How does it feel to be nominated?
I think it's such an honor to be nominated. Of course, that's a phenomenal title to be given. I'm honored. I'm honored. That's all.
It's fantastic. Speechless. We'll call it that.
Sure.
So like you said, you've taught for about 20 years. Now you're at Craig Keilburger Secondary School. When did you know you were in the right career?
Well, I think from the very beginning. I think from you take a while to figure out where you're going. I was going to be a lawyer. I thought I was going to be a lawyer, and after the middle of the way through my first degree, I knew that wasn't something that I was very interested in law, but I wanted to be around people more, and I realized that the lawyer stuff was. You weren't around people all the time. You were doing a lot of research and things like that. And so, you fall into it and you hope that you make the right choice. I always really liked school. I liked learning. I liked being in school. I liked presenting and all that kind of stuff. And so it seemed like a natural choice. And then as soon as I got before a group of students on my practicum, I just kind of felt at home and felt a great connection and knew that I kind of found my passion, which is, I think, it's one of those jobs that if you're super passionate about it, it really is something that is so incredibly fulfilling. And you get to learn something every day. So it's kind of neat.
Perfect. Yeah. And like instant connection doesn't happen to a lot of people. So that's fantastic to hear and always interesting to hear. Now, over 20 years, do you have a big accomplishment or something that sticks out in your mind that just really shows, like, it really highlights your career?
I think that one of the most important things that I've done as an educator, but also as a human, I think even as a mom, is traveling internationally with students. I travel on service learning trips every year and take kids to various developing nations and work in partnership with community members and nonprofit organizations to give them some perspective that they otherwise would never be able to have, and to do some good while we're there. And truthfully, it's probably been one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life. And it's just really changed a lot of lives, our students' lives as well. So really cool.
Yeah, that work never stops. I will say that. It seems like for teachers. Did you have any mentors or moments that shaped you?
Mentors and moments that shaped me. I don't know. I learn a lot from my colleagues daily. We're lucky to be in an industry, I guess, or a profession where there's so many creative, passionate people that you take little pieces of them with you and learn from them as you go. I think actual moments and mentors. I don't think I could name just one. I think that it's a culmination of just so many different things. Ian Jones was a great principal at Milton District. I never had the opportunity to work with him, but he did take me on my first experiential learning trip with students to Auschwitz and to a Holocaust trip to 8 European nations where we really had some heavy learning that we did, and it really changed my path. That's where my experiential learning passion started, and I will be forever grateful to him. He was just one of those really incredible humans who, lived his passion. He was a great administrator, and he really worked hard to bring teachers along with him and teach us and inspire us along the way. And so that's always stuck with me, especially lately when we're learning about all this. We're learning so much right now in our media, especially about anti-racism education and the importance of learning about implicit biases and things like that. When we look at things like the Holocaust throughout history, we recognize that anytime people are identifying people as different or have biases that exist in our society, that leads to some significant human rights abuses. And that's always been a passion of mine. And Ian always made that a contemporary thing. So he taught about those kind of historical instances, but connected them very much to what's happening in our everyday world, and making us all aware of the fact that those kind of things are not in the past, but they're very much with us today. And it's something that as the education system is often been part of, in many cases, oppression and colonialism, that it's important for us as educators to make that part of our everyday instruction in our own education, so that we're part of the change and changing these systems where systemic racism and things like that exist, and making it a better world for everyone, and recognizing our privilege and teaching students about the places, their own biases, and working with them through that. So he was a huge influence. He's he's retired now, but I would put him up there for sure.
Well, it's incredible, and it sounds like you said, like, a very grateful and big learning experience, and it sounds like it really had an impact on your career. So that's fantastic to hear.
Huge impact, yeah.
Do you have any advice for women?
For women,
mm-hmm.
Advice for women. So I don't know. I think that living your passion is an incredibly important thing. I think that we are all so able to be change makers in our own worlds, in whatever worlds that we occupy, whether it be as moms or as daughters or sisters or friends or in our professional capacity. And I think that my advice for all people, not just women, but is to live your truth and live your passion, and work the best that you can every day to be the best version of yourself, and to try and leave the world a little bit better than the way that we found it. And I think that if we work within our own spheres of influence, that is something that is absolutely possible. That's actually something I try to teach my students. So definitely would be something that I would say to women and all humans, I think, as a whole.
Well, it's fantastic advice. I'll give you that. And then finally, what's next for you? What's going on for the next school year?
Yeah, so who knows? This has been a very interesting year. We have no idea what September is going to look like. It's going to definitely affect my Youth in Action group and our ability to even, I don't even know if we're going to be able to meet. I run a student group at school that is very much committed to, like I said, making the world a better place with their everyday actions. And so we work hard with local nonprofits in Milton, like our food banks and other organizations like Halton Women's Place to really make a difference. And we're hoping that we'll still going to be able to find a way, even with COVID, to continue that community work. I'm the coordinator for, we are an IB school at CK. We just became an IB school this year, and I am the CAS coordinator, which is the Creativity Action Service lead. And my job is to help our IB students recognize how important it is to not just be academically amazing, but also recognize the importance of balance when it comes to the arts, the involvement in the arts and athletics and service, community service. And so looking at trying to figure out creative ways, again, depending upon what our school life looks like, whether we're in school or not in school or online learning, to still increase those partnerships in our community, and to teach kids and help kids recognize and find a balance, and see the importance of community connection, as well as physical and mental well-being and how important that is. So that's become a real passion for me as well. And this opportunity with the International Baccalaureate program is really offering me an opportunity to connect with specific students and ensure that when they go off into the world after their IB program, that they are community leaders and recognizing the important role that they have to play in changing, like I said, and being an active part of the societies that they live in and making them better places. So that's all part of it. I don't know what's happening with trips. I think it'll be a while before I get to have the opportunity to travel with students again. And so again, just looking at innovative ways to probably locally get connected. And maybe if we can help with some of the COVID, it's the stuff that has to happen to help nonprofits deal with those limitations and what that looks like. Maybe we can find some particular programming that actually has something specifically to do with helping nonprofits with that. in some capacity would be great. So yeah, we're just learning as we go along, and I don't know what the next year holds, but that's one of the greatest things about education is you never really know. And 20 years later, you're always challenged and always looking at new ways and innovative ways to do things. And it's one of the reasons why this career is such an awesome one. So yeah.
It's amazing. Like once you figure something, once you think you have everything figured out, it all just goes out the window. Am I right?
That's life. Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you again, Tania, for joining us and just for being one of the 9 women of influence here on myFM. If you want to check out the full interviews for you and all other 8 women, head to our website, miltonnow.ca.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much.